Facebook questions here, and June Kai says, what assistance work do you recommend for the bench and squat? Thanks a lot.
Bench, I like close grip benches, and I always pause them. I like pausing my inclines. I like heavy dips and other tricep work. I like wide grip benches. In the squat, it was usually pause squats, just regular powerlifting stance squats, but with a pause, stop on the bottom. And I liked high bar close stance squats. Those were probably the best.
All right, and just want to point out to you as well as we've got exclusive footage of Ed Coan actually going through the assistance exercises on the website. If you just go to strengthening.com/join, go ahead and join the membership, and you'll
yeah, we got a lot of stuff taken off all the videos over the years.
Absolutely. Okay. David Holick asks, Dear Ed, sometimes when I squat heavy so much as doing doubles, my knees will buckle inwards. How can I fix this?
Let's see, he squats high bar with his feet at medium stance. I would actually say either try to point your toes out a little more or point them more straight. Point them more straight, you have to sit back more and drop your hips. But a lot of times, you know, I learned that actually from Mike Teixeira. He was good with that. I always like pointing my feet out a little bit more and opening up my legs more up in the crotch area than pushing my knees out. And that seemed to work the best. All you can do is work with it a little bit, but either point them out more and focus on opening up your groin, or point your feet a little more straight and see how that feels.
All right, Rodrigo says his hips shoot out without the raising the bar in the back squat. Only way to fix it so far that he's accomplished is to work as far up as possible. Is there any accessory work that you could recommend to help him with that?
Yeah, basically his butt just shoots up a lot when he squats. He said the only way to stop it is if he looks up a lot. It sounds to me more like a quad problem. And I would say work your quads harder, high bar close stance squats, front squats, learning how to push with your legs a little bit more without your back, even if that entails some leg presses where you pause them. But you got to learn how to push more with your legs. You're obviously, when you squat, and you're pushing using your back and your butt and your lower back more before you even use your quads.
Fantastic insight. Chadwick Haynes says, what are good grip exercises for deadlift? Emphasis is grip sucks.
Well, a lot depends on hand size. I was born with hands of a pro basketball player.
Yeah.
So if it's not hand size and your grip sucks, you just got to get used to handling more weight in your hand. I used to just stand sideways in a power rack with a bar in front of me, pick it up and hold it for time, usually 30 seconds at a crack. And I used to, any grip exercises, any grippers or anything, I try to do with just my fingers. More these two at the end with my thumb, because these two at the end were pretty much the weakest ones. But holding weight and getting used to holding weight is the best way to do it, but for time. It'll hurt, but it'll pay off.
Fantastic. All right, Eddie says, what have you found to be the best accessory exercise for each lift? Maybe top 2 or 3. I know there's so many, but what was your favorite?
Well, with the last question, I answered already, the squat and the bench. For the deadlifts, I like doing some speed deadlifts, just focusing more on explosive power, multiple sets, usually 5, 6 sets of triples, short rest period. Doesn't have to be a lot of weight. And I like doing a heavy, stiff leg deadlift cycle, standing on like 3-inch blocks in the off season. I usually go 3 weeks of 8, 3 weeks of 6, 3 weeks of 4, like that a lot. And the only other thing I did that I was good at was wide grip chin-ups, and I loved heavy barbell rows for my upper back.
Awesome. Fantastic. Mr. Powerlifting, it says, I can barely do 12 pull-ups. I'm 180 pounds. Help me. Can we get a 3-week plan to get stronger?
Mirror powerlifting.
Oh, mirror. Sorry.
Yeah. You know what? I would say do 3 sets of as many reps as you can on regular pull-ups, and then just get a band. Use one of the bands and wrap it around the chin-up bar, pull it down, put it underneath your knee, and do reps like that. You'll do the same movement, but it'll take some of the weight off, and just go down to a lower and lower and lower band each time you do them. That's about the only thing you can do.
Very good. Travis Wass says, I seem to be able to pull a decent amount of weight with mostly posterior chain. Last night he doubled 445 pounds and his body weight is 181.
Nice.
Yep. Find when I try to dip my hips down to seek out more leg drive, I feel like my knees get over the bar and I get stuck down there. Any tips on how to pull more with a quad?
Actually, you should, when you dip down and try to get lower, you lose all your leverage to be able to use your back, legs, butt, everything at the same time. You just lose all your leverage because you're trying to sit all the way down there and do a squat from the bottom up and not a deadlift anymore. You just got to focus more on pushing with your quads. You got to get your upper back tighter, shoulders back, chest up a little bit. You don't have to look up. You can look neutral but still be locked. And your back has to be locked enough so that when you go to push your feet off the ground, your butt doesn't come up right away. If your back's too loose, you'll bend right over and you won't be able to use your quads. So just focus like that. That'll help out a lot.
Excellent. He also says that he's going to add in deficit pulls as an accessory exercise to practice really getting in down there. I mean, is that something he should be doing?
Not necessarily. Deficit pulls are fine, but to really practice getting in down there, no, that's not the problem at all. Getting lower will not necessarily help you at all.
Rob says, at what 1 rep max percentage should I use a belt? How do I know when I should use a deadlift suit to improve my max deadlift?
There's guys that sometimes I didn't even worry about with deadlift all off season. It was just to get my core strong and everything in that area. But there's no percentage to do it. It becomes dangerous for you where there's a severe breakdown in form, or right when you're getting ready for a meet. It's a good idea to get used to the equipment you'll be using. As far as a deadlift suit, is just to get used to the equipment you're using. If obviously for a meet, you got to use it a little bit before to learn that groove of the suit. That's all.
Absolutely. Next is Martin. He says, hello, Ed. What is the best effective workouts for joints, and what is your opinion on no supplements in powerlifting? Greetings from the Czech Republic.
The best workout, what best effectively works for the joints, and what is your opinion on no supplements? Just my basic diet with getting your right amount of fats and fish oils in is better for the joints than pretty much anything. But it's a long-term thing. There's no like quick fix. All of a sudden, I'm going to feel great in a few weeks. It takes a little time to work into it. And opinion of no supplements in powerlifting? No, I think you should use just supplements. Regular nutritional supplements are fine. Like we talked about before, not everyone can eat perfect all the time, so you're going to need an insurance policy. That's all it is.
Right.
No problem.
Joe says, what's a good way to get stronger on the bench year-round? Not just for competition, but year-round.
Just vary it. Look at what your weak points are. So when you don't got a contest out coming around, find out what exercise am I weakest on in the bench. Is it regular? Is it pause benches? Is it reps? Is it my triceps? Is it my wide grip bench? Is it my close grip bench? Is it my incline press? And do that exercise first. Then you'll be the strongest on that exercise. That's actually the best way.
Excellent. Very good. Steve says, how do you eat to remain lean while steadily moving up in weight classes throughout your life?
I was young. That's pretty much how I did it. I was really, I was lucky. But a lot of the other questions, I pretty much explained it. Just don't eat as much crap as you usually do. Everyone kind of has an idea, but fat tastes good and the bad fat tastes really good. So, I mean, that's the problem with the sugar. So watch out your bad fats. Watch for your bad, all the bullshit sugar. Keep your protein high. Don't take as much stupid carbs in, and you'll be fine.
Bjorn Anderson says he's got high weight and low reps. What's best for strength gains?
Well, even higher reps can get you strong. It's all relative. There's a time and a place for everything.
Right.
But I would say as long as you can explode with the weight and you can't always max out. So anywhere from 5 to 3 reps are usually the best. Okay. And sometimes you can vary it. Like you can. Josh Bryan is a big fan of benches where you stop an inch off your chest and then explode upward for such a 3. Multiple sets, very little rest in between. Those will fire every muscle you got and teach you how to stay tight. Very good exercise. but just little things like that. All these exercises got started because someone thought them up.
Right.
So don't be afraid to experiment a little bit and think up your own exercise. You can find out what works for you, because most of the basic routines started out a certain way, and then just people kind of tweaked them a little bit to fit their needs.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid to experiment on your own.
Yeah. He seconds it up with, should he be using protein powder or not? And we've kind of been covering that.
Yeah, if you don't eat enough, usually after you work out, if you can't eat within like 40 minutes or something like that, I would say have a little protein shake, then go eat.
Right. Okay.
You don't want to leave too much leeway in between there.
Okay, excellent. Aaron Gaines says, my upper back is lagging and causing my deadlifts to suffer at lockout. What are movements that I can do to help that area, and what are the sets and reps you recommend?
The heavy bent over, rows, heavy shrugs, any other lat work, and anything that helps you retract, keep everything around your shoulder blades really, really tight and squeezed. You can also send in a video. Don't be afraid to send in a video, and we'll review it online and right here and let you know. I'll let you know, no matter what. It's pretty easy to do. I just look at it, tell you what's going on. Don't be afraid to send that stuff in, guys.
Absolutely. Christopher Hickman says, what, in your opinion, is the best way for a total beginner to program squats for the fastest progression? 3 sets of 5, upping 5 pounds per workout, 3 times per week with little to no accessory lifts, a la starting strength, or something else?
Yeah, well, see, as long as you're not going all out each workout, you can work out fairly often when you're done, because you're just starting. Your hormones are going crazy. Your body's ready to grow. You can abuse yourself a little bit more.
Right.
But when you get into the point where, let's say you're doing 3 sets of 5 with starting strength, when those 3 sets of 5 are ball busters and they're 100%, you're not going to be able to recover by the next workout. So you got to space it out a little bit more. But you can train very, very hard at the beginning and make a lot of gains. When you stop making gains, then come back to us and check it out. Then you'll need some more help and some better programming advice.
There you go. All right. John Deal says, do you believe a powerlifter should focus on squat or deadlift and do the other just enough to stay competitive while hoping for the most carryover as possible?
I would never hope for anything. It's like, going to Vegas. That's why everyone loses in Vegas. You can't hope to hit, your roll of 7 or something.
Right.
You got to bank on it, and that has to do with your training. If your squat is going great, you can't expect your deadlift to go up. If everyone and win a contest, if everyone else is working their buns off in the gym, so they get their deadlift up and their squat up and their bench up, you can't count on it. So work your butt off in both, because it's a 3-lift meet.
There we go. Absolutely. That wraps up our questions for this time. We want to thank you guys very much for sending them in. Ed?
I want to say I'm doing something kind of cool with Josh Bryant right now. Since Josh was about 15 years old, and he lived in Santa Barbara, he used to call me up on the phone for advice. And right now, I took a break for a while, so as I'm starting to get back in shape, I'm going to make Josh be my teacher for a while to see what he's learned over time. So we're going to do a little bit of role reversal, and we'll let you know how it goes every week online.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
See you guys.